We often spend our days worrying about the obvious culprits of aging. We worry about the sugar in our coffee, the stress of the nonstop news cycle, whether we're taking the right vitamins or supplements. But there is a silent, pervasive thief of time that may already be lurking in your living room right now. And research suggests it can quietly shorten your lifespan as much as, or even more than, many well-known health risks. It isn't a toxic chemical. It isn't a bad gene. It's the simple, seemingly harmless act of staying still. We call it sedentary behavior, but you might recognize it as the comfort of your favorite armchair, the long hours at a desk, or the days that pass without ever really leaving the house. Now, rest is essential. But there is a profound difference between resting and rusting. Today, we're going to explore a remarkable piece of medical history, the Dallas Bed Rest Study, which revealed a shocking truth about what happens to the human body when movement disappears. The findings showed that just 3 weeks of extreme inactivity caused changes comparable to decades of cardiovascular aging. That sounds alarming. But stay with me, because hidden inside this research is also a powerful message of hope. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to reclaim your vitality and why your later years do not have to be defined by decline. To grasp the seriousness of this issue, we need to rethink what being healthy really means. Many people assume that if they aren't overweight and don't feel sick, they must be doing fine. But modern science tells a different story. Chronic sedentary behavior is now recognized as a major independent risk factor for early death, even in people who otherwise appear healthy. And this isn't about laziness. When we stay still for long periods, something very real happens inside the body. Muscles go quiet. Blood flow slows. Key metabolic and repair systems dial themselves down. It's a state of physical silence that sends a powerful message to your biology, one it was never designed to receive. Study after study has shown that prolonged inactivity rivals and sometimes exceeds traditional risk factors like smoking when it comes to predicting early mortality. In other words, that chair you sit in for 8 hours a day may be doing more damage than you realize. To understand why, let's go back to 1966. That's when researchers at the University of Texas conducted what would become known as the Dallas Bed Rest Study. They recruited 5 healthy young men, college students in peak physical condition, and paid them to do something that sounds appealing on the surface. Stay in bed for 3 weeks. But this wasn't lounging or watching TV. This was strict bed rest. No standing. No walking. No stretching. Even bathroom visits were restricted. The goal was to simulate what happens during prolonged illness or recovery and to observe how the heart and lungs respond when movement and gravity are removed. The results were dramatic. In just 21 days, these young men experienced severe cardiovascular deconditioning. Their muscles weakened. Their hearts became smaller and less efficient. Their ability to use oxygen, a core marker of fitness, dropped sharply. But the most astonishing discovery came later. Decades after the original experiment, the researchers located the same men again, now in their 50s, and retested their heart and fitness levels. They compared the effects of 30 years of normal aging with the damage caused by 3 weeks of bed rest. The conclusion was stunning. Those 3 weeks of inactivity had caused a greater decline in cardiovascular fitness than 3 decades of aging. Let that sink in. 3 weeks of not moving aged their bodies more than 30 years of life. This brings us to one of the most important concepts for longevity, VO2 max, also known as cardiorespiratory fitness. Think of it as the size of your body's engine. It measures how efficiently your lungs take in oxygen, how powerfully your heart pumps it, and how well your muscles use it. This single number is one of the strongest predictors of health, independence, and lifespan. When you're sedentary, that engine shrinks. The system becomes less efficient. The reserve disappears. Large population studies consistently show that people with higher cardiorespiratory fitness live longer and are far less likely to die from age-related diseases. Even modest improvements in fitness have been linked to meaningful gains in life expectancy, often several years. This isn't about perfection. It's about staying out of the danger zone. After 60, some decline in fitness is natural, but inactivity accelerates that decline fast. Everyday tasks require oxygen, walking, carrying groceries, Climbing stairs. When fitness drops too low, those normal activities become maximal efforts. You're not out of breath because you're weak. You're out of breath because your engine no longer has a reserve. This is where independence begins to slip away. And this is the edge you want to stay far from. Now for the most important part. The damage is not permanent. In the original Dallas study, the participants were put on a structured exercise program after bed rest. Their hearts rebuilt themselves. And when researchers followed them decades later, those who stayed active had largely preserved and in some cases restored their cardiovascular fitness. The message is powerful and reassuring. The human body wants to recover. It wants to adapt. It wants to stay strong. You don't need extreme workouts. You simply need to move out of the low fitness category. Even going from sedentary to lightly active dramatically reduces health risks. So what's the antidote? It's something called vigorous intensity movement. And don't let that word intimidate you. In medical terms, vigorous simply means moving enough that you can't comfortably hold a conversation. If you can sing while you're walking, that's lovely, but it won't expand your heart's capacity. You need moments where your breathing deepens and your heart rate rises. That's the signal your body understands. One effective approach is interval-style movement, adapted to your ability. For example, walk at a comfortable pace for a few minutes, then speed up for 1 minute as if you're late for an appointment. Breathe harder. Swing your arms, then slow down and recover. Repeat. These short bursts send a powerful message to your cells. Adapt, strengthen, stay alive. This kind of movement improves blood vessels, insulin sensitivity, and heart efficiency, and keeps you well away from the cliff of frailty. You're not just exercising. You're reminding your body that you're still engaged with life. The lesson of the Dallas bed rest study isn't to fear rest. It's to respect movement as medicine. We often imagine aging as an inevitable slide. But much of what we blame on age is actually the consequence of prolonged stillness. Your body is a use it or lose it system. And movement is the key that keeps it switched on. So here's your invitation today. Don't wait for motivation. The next time hours pass without much movement, let that be your reminder to get your body going again. Stand up. Move. Climb stairs. March in place. And on your next walk, find that slightly uncomfortable zone even for 30 seconds. Remind your heart that it still has work to do. If this deeper look into the science of longevity helped you, consider subscribing to Everwise Living. We're here to help you move through your later years with strength, clarity, and confidence. Movement doesn't require perfect timing, it only requires a decision. You are far more capable than you've been led to believe.